So you're saying they're going to have to replace the pipe all the way out there?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to go under the street?
Yeah, you're going to have to cut into the street.
Wow, that's kind of bad news for us.
Yeah. This is Randy Schoeneman with Bulldog Rooter. I am looking at the sewer line in South Stevens Street. Or no, excuse me. That's 18th there, isn't it?
Yes.
18th Street. We're currently in the basement at the house at 1722 South Stevens, Spokane, Washington, 99203. Today's date is October 3rd, 2015. We're going to start pulling back and take a look at the sewer line all the way back to where it comes into the house. I was out here about 6 days ago, ran a 2.5-inch cutting blade out. There was an additional backup less than 6 days later. I cabled it again with a 2.5-inch blade again, and then stepped up to a 3-inch blade and ran it through, and this is what we are looking at currently. And this is after the line has been cabled. We're out about 113 feet from the cleanout in the basement. We have a monstrous root intrusion coming through the top of the sewer line. It looks like we've gone into cast iron going into the street, and then once we get to the street, you can see the clay right there. And pulling back, section of cast iron. You can see the water running down the bottom of the pipe. Looks like we have really good grade. Huge root intrusion, and again, this is after a 3-inch cutting blade has been run through this, and a 2.5-inch blade less than 6 days ago. We're pulling back, of course. Looks like we're still in cast iron, possibly concrete. It's hard to say with all the material on it. Good flow. Here at 103 feet, small root intrusion at the bottom. That could just be a remnant from the cabling earlier. Yeah, it looks like it is. We're just going to shove that out here a little closer to the sewer line, get it the heck out of here. And yeah, it looks like that's on its way down the drain now. Still in iron. Little bit of material on the top. Hard to say if that's sludge or some small roots. This is at 100 feet out. Continuing to pull back. Little earthworm there in the bottom of the pipe. You can see really good flow of water. Coming up on, this is 90 feet right here. Looks like we're still in iron. Good grade, nice looking pipe. With the exception of that hub connection with all the roots, it looks pretty good. Okay, got a little bit of a flat spot here. This is at about 82, 81 feet roughly. There's an 1.5-inch camera on the end of this cable, and you can see we're in a little pool there. Another little pool. And this right here, we're at about 78 feet, so about 77.5. Looks like a pretty sizable possible separation. It almost looks like it could be a T coming in from perhaps one of the neighbors, but if we go by where the water's at, this could be just a disruption or in the line. Let me pull back a little bit so we can get a better view of it. It looks like it's an elbow. We transition here into clay. You can see from the orange color. This could possibly be a separation between the iron and the clay, where there's a little depth here. It could possibly be a hub coming from another house, but I don't think so, because we're right on the corner of 17th and Stevens, or 18th and Stevens, excuse me. And there's no other houses on this side of the street. There's a playground directly upstream of us. And but this is an area where we could have potentially some sludge build up. Yeah, a little bit better view right here. And notice we have no seams here. Here's one right here, and very sizable root intrusion. This is pretty major stuff coming from the top, and again, this is after a 3.5-inch blade has been run through this line, or 3-inch blade, excuse me, has been run through this line. Here's another separation at that joint with the root intrusion. Another sizable root intrusion that we were able to cut through. You can see earthworms in the root balls there. We're coming up on 70 feet right here. Another sizable root intrusion. This one's pretty major from the top. This one here, I believe, is just a little, yeah, this one's moving. So we'll run some more water and get that flushed out. A little root ball sitting there at the bottom of the line. Little separation in the line right there, not a huge one. Wouldn't be much to worry about. A little bit of dirt around that one. You can see some of the roots coming down from up above. This is a pretty sizable root mass right here. We're sitting at about 63 feet out, and that root mass looks like it is probably, wow, we've got a couple of them here. Because we can't get the roots out of here, we may not even have pipe to contend with here. It's hard to say, or it's just grown in and grown down the line. But we're at 63 feet right here where it begins. And it continues right there to about 60 feet. So we've got about a 3-foot long root ball on one side of the pipe. Another sizable root intrusion there at about 57 feet. Another one at 56. Another huge one at about 55. You can see there the size of the separation in the pipe. Let's see if I can get that off of there. There we go. But this one is very sizable. And we're at 55 feet right there.
It just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's continuous. Another big root intrusion there at about 54 feet. Another gigantic root intrusion here, occupying roughly 50% of the pipe. Right now we're sitting at about 55.5 feet right here, where it looks like it ends. Still pulling back, more roots. Giant root intrusion here. I mean, this is just phenomenal. Right here is 46 feet, so we've got another.
Pine out there.
Yeah.
Where you're at. There's a couple of huge pine trees.
Another big root intrusion here. This is about 40, almost 45 feet, probably a foot long. Another giant root intrusion at this joint.
So you're getting this all on the little file.
Yep, I'm recording all of this. Yeah. We're coming up on about 41 feet here. Another sizable intrusion. Yeah, this is right at 40 feet here. Still in clay. Great grade on everything, with the exception of that one little joint. Root intrusion there at about 35 feet. Still in clay. Another good sized one here. It's almost like this line was put together with short sections. Now this one right, you can see right there on the, let's see if I can get some direction here. I believe it's on the, it would be on the east side of the pipe, but right here where you see, looks like there's a crack in the pipe, kind of spirals up to the top, and then stops. A seam there, that's what they should all look, that's what a normal seam looks like, and a normal seam right there. Here's one at 28 feet in this elbow. Big intrusion there at 25 feet. Looks like this is a long turn, 45 or 90. Can't really get a good view of it.
Might be where some of that's getting hung up then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's got to make that turn and it's so compromised.
Oh, there's just so much in there to catch it.
Right.
We're at about, looking back at about 26 feet, still in clay. Another root intrusion there at about 24 feet. Continuing to pull back. Another one there at 22 feet. Here we are at 20 feet right here. And it looks like we're transitioning into, I believe, iron right here.
Again?
See the coloration change? Pull up. Or not. Excuse me. We might be in clay here still. I think we just have, from years of backing up, it looks like we just have a lot of sludge on the outside of this line. From what I can see with my, where the swirl marks where my cable made there straight ahead in the screen, looks like clay. Yeah, and here we get a little bit better view. And you can see where sludge has been building up. It's all clear now. You know what? I think we have iron here. I take that back. We're out at about 14 feet.
Has it been replaced sometime, or?
Hard to say. They might have thrown some iron in there at some point. Yeah, it looks like this is all iron. Continuing to pull back. We just went past the 10-foot mark right here. That's from the clean out in the basement and the laundry room. Iron. And it looks like right here we're coming up the clean out. We're looking, let me wipe off this lens here so we get a little bit better idea. This is where we're at right here in the basement. These are some of the roots that came back on the cable, though there weren't many, which the quantity that's out there. But we're again in the basement at 1722 South Stevens Street, Spokane, Washington, October 3rd, 2015. This is Randy Schoeneman from Bulldog Rooter, and do want to thank you for choosing Bulldog Rooter.